Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening. This is your girl, Charles Ravenel. We are live at 5, literally. And we are talking about rejection and anger and how the two go hand in hand. I've been having this conversation for about the last week now, and it's been pretty juicy, just sharing with you guys how to overcome rejection, how to face rejection, how to identify rejection, and all of that. And this conversation was important to me because rejection was something that I experienced. It was something that I had to overcome, and also staying in a position of overcoming, still learning how to cope, implementing the strategies and tools to be able to continue to overcome and not allowing things that could be triggers or things that could have some type of association to put me in that place of feeling rejected. So I thought it was very helpful to be able to share with you guys some tools, tips, and strategies on how to do the same so that you can truly live a life unadulterated, of course, unadulterated, but unapologetic life so that you can have the marriage that you desire, so that you can be the woman of God that you were created to be the wife, be the mother, all of those things. You can be all of those things and more without having to answer to I am rejected, knowing that that's no longer your name, it's not who you are, it's not who God created you to be. And I want to share with you, continuously share with you on how to do that. Hey, Jan. Hey, Connie. How's it going? So we are having the conversation about rejecting, you guys. And tonight in particular, last night I shared about Hagar. I have to sneeze. Last night I shared about Hagar. I have to sneeze. Okay. Last night I shared about Hagar, and I shared how she was rejected and how she dealt with her rejection. So I don't know if you were on, I don't know if you went back and watched the replay, but basically Hagar was Sarah's handmaid, her maid, basically was the person that took care of Sarah, that took care of the house, that was Sarah's slave. That's what the Bible calls it in one version, her slave. So basically that person that did everything for her. So Sarah was unable to have children, and her and Abraham wanted to have children desperately. So because she wasn't able, or thought she wasn't able to have children, she told her husband to go and sleep with her maid, her slave. He did that. She got pregnant. Sarah ended up rejecting Hagar, dismissing her, and Hagar ended up leaving the house because she was being mistreated, being abused, verbally abused, emotionally abused, and things of that nature after having once served this woman. So she left the house because she felt rejected. She was rejected at that point by Abraham because Abraham told Sarah, do what you want with her. It's your slave. Whatever. Do what you want with her. But Sarah was so upset that her husband slept with this woman when she told him to. So that's confusing already. And then Hagar just left and she felt rejected. And God confronted her and said, hey, where are you coming from and where are you going? And he told her to go back. She was like, I'm getting mistreated, by Sarah. She's supposed to love me. She's supposed to, allow me to serve her, but I'm being mistreated by her. I'm being abused by her. And God said, go back to her and submit to her. So I posted a video earlier of Ray J and his wife, Princess. I don't know how old that video is, but one thing, when I saw that video, one thing that rang really loudly is that there was some anger and rejection there as well. And in particular on Princess end, I don't know if you guys saw the video, so let me know. On her end, when Ray J told her that he had an anger problem and he needed to work through his anger and yada, 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 and he felt the best way to do that is for them to be separated, she began throwing food at him, threw her drink on him, and all this other stuff. So if you don't know what that is, that's basically she was putting up a defense, and she was so angry because she felt rejected in that moment. I don't know if she has daddy issues, mommy issues, or what type of past relationships issues she may have, to where is that came out of her. But in that moment, by her doing that, she was showing him like, you're rejecting me and I don't like it. I don't like how this is making me feel right now. I don't like what you just said right now. So that's a prime example of what rejection in color looks like, right? And then she ended up getting thrown in the pool at that point because she was pushing him and things of that nature. I'm not here to say who's right or wrong, but I just wanted to show you that demonstration of what rejection looks like. And that's the same goes for you and I. You know, when we don't deal with those underlying issues, you know, yes, she was angry, but why? Why did that hurt so bad? Why couldn't she be a mature person, you know, and say, and I'm not saying she's immature, so just hear me out. Why couldn't she be the mature person in dealing with her rejection beforehand? And when he said, I think it's best for us to separate, she accepted that. She could not accept that because there were some underlying things that she was dealing with. Are you guys following me here? So she was unable to accept the fact that he did not want to be in the relationship no more, because there's some things that she was still struggling with. And we can look at the same thing with Hagar. Sarah didn't tell Hagar to leave. Abraham didn't tell Hagar to leave. Hagar left because she didn't like that feeling of rejection. And even though she left, she still had to confront it in the same way with Princess and Ray J. She had to confront that because I believe they got married after that and whatever the case may be. So you still have to go back to that situation. So I'm saying all of that to say, unless you confront your rejection, unless you confront the very thing that caused you to feel rejected. And again, this doesn't necessarily have to be figuratively, literally. You know, a lot of times it's the thing that we have to work in within ourselves, right? Feeling that rejection within ourselves and understanding that we are loved and understanding that that past relation does not identify us and define us. Understanding that even if we had fathers and mothers that weren't present there for us physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, or otherwise, knowing that it was not our fault, right? And including some coping mechanisms on how you can deal with rejection going forward, so that every time your husband or your wife may not give you their undivided attention or may say something or do something that you don't like, that you don't take it personally and feel like you're being rejected. Okay. So I just want to share with you, I think I have 7 points today, 7 points on confronting rejection, 7 points on confronting rejection. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute to get your notepad and pen so you can take some notes. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Dominique. We're talking about overcoming and confronting rejection. This is a continued conversation, something I have struggled with, something I know many women have struggled with, also men. I might also dealt with abandonment as well. So these are things that you guys really need to identify if these things are showing up in your marriage. And if you've experienced these things, rejection, being dismissed, feeling like you're isolated, feeling like, you know, the person that was supposed to love you let you down. If you're on here today and you were in a relationship, or even parents, grandparents, somebody let you down, somebody dismissed you, somebody did not care for you the way that they were supposed to care for you, they didn't love you the way that they were supposed to love you, that's rejection. If someone that was supposed to be there for you left you, be it by death or divorce or relationship wise, that's abandonment. My father passed away, right, when I was 17 years old, 3 days before my 18th birthday. That was involuntary abandonment. I experienced abandonment even though he died. My ex-husband, right, we got divorced. That's abandonment. You know, so regardless of how good the relationship was or not, you still experience the same effects to that relationship. And if you don't deal with those things, there's always a fear that that's going to happen again. There's always a fear that that's going to happen again. It may not be by way of divorce. It may not be by way of death, but it could be by way of cheating. Your spouse cheating on you, your spouse not giving you, again, their undivided attention. You may experience it by suffering in the bedroom. The intimacy levels can go down. Sexual encounter levels can go down. The intention that you desire or that you once had from that person can start diminishing. And when those things start happening, and your mind is telling you something is wrong. Oh my God, this is good. It's telling you something is wrong. That's a trigger. I believe I'm helping someone on today. I feel it. It's a trigger. And in fact, there's nothing wrong per se. It's just that that person may be, sometimes there's not anything wrong, not all the time. Sometimes there is something wrong, and that person may very well be rejecting you because something else may be going on. You know, the relationship starts to get stale. If your relationships feel like it's on autopilot, you're just, you're just going through the motions. It's really not feeding you. It's not fueling you. And then something is going on. Sometimes that's internal. And then sometimes something really is going on. I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. There has been times in my marriage where my husband has worked so much and I felt rejected. And I felt that our marriage was on autopilot. And I'm like, we're just kind of going through the motions here. And it wasn't that he was intentionally trying to reject me or make me feel unloved or unwanted, but he didn't connect the dots in saying, okay, I need to balance more. I need to bring more harmony. And I need to make sure that I'm not giving everything to this and make sure I'm taking care of this over here. So in those times, my mind was wondering, like, what is he doing? What's going on? I didn't ever think he was cheating. That was never my thing. I thank God I don't ever think that my husband would do that, nor do I put anything past anybody, but that's not my worry. But my worry was I feel disconnected. Does that make sense? I feel disconnected. I feel like we were not here. I'm like, we're not here. There's a disconnection. I feel it. But he was fine. But I felt the disconnection. So I had to ask myself, okay, Trell, is this associating to something you've experienced in the past when your ex was absent and when he was working all the time and when he was abandoning you, and in fact when he did cheat on you because he had a whole nother relationship and girl and all this other stuff, right? So I had to learn how to not internalize, right, but say, okay, this is an issue. It's an issue for me. It may not be an issue for him. And I need to talk to him about this issue. So what I've learned to do is talk to him and say, honey, I feel like we need to do something. There were times we went too many weeks without date nights. So if that's something that's happening, if you're going too many weeks without date nights because you're working, I work a lot as well. But I'm the type of worker that can shut it off and stop. My husband is not. He's the type of worker, he just keeps going. I will shut it off, stop, and be more flexible than him. He is just like that. So there were time, again, the date nights was diminishing. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Why are we not going on date nights? There's not that much work in the world. And at that moment, I was feeling rejected because I'm like, we're not going on dates. What's going on? Right? So I had to learn to go and talk to him and to share with him what I was feeling. So that's point number one, is tell your spouse what's going on. Let them know, like, hey, I need to talk to you. So tell your spouse you need to talk and decide on a time. So saying I need to talk to you and trying to confront the issue at the same time may not be the best. Okay, let's break that down. Because you know how we do. When we feel something or we're experiencing something, we want to, I need to talk to you, and then go straight into the conversation. That's not how that works. This is, honey, I need to talk to you. Do you have a few moments where we can have a conversation? And, automatically, for the most part, when you say I want to talk to you, men kind of draw back, but try not to make it seem like something horrible. You can say, well, honey, there's been some things that there have been some things that have been on my mind lately, and I would like to share them with you. Is it okay that we schedule a time to talk? Yes, no, whatever. Okay, schedule that time to talk. So once you have their undivided attention, you present the facts, right? Present the facts. Don't try to, well, you're never home, and because never is not, that's all inclusive. That's not true. It's it's not like they're never home, but their time home has significantly been reduced, right? So let's state the facts. So my facts, well, honey, our date nights, I used to, what I tell them was, I love when we used to go on date nights every single week, and I really miss that. So I started off like that. And I feel like lately we haven't been dating as much, and it makes me feel rejected. Okay. So I didn't say it's your fault we're not going on date night. I didn't blame him for working or anything like that. Although in other conversations I have said, okay, honey, we both work a lot. I understand that. I understand that we have goals, but do you think that you can be more flexible in your schedule so that we can make this a priority, whatever it was at the time? So it's presentation. So you're going to go to them and you're going to present the facts only. Honey, I really enjoy being intimate with you, and I really enjoy, having sex with you. And I feel like our sex life has been reduced significantly, and no fault of anyone's, but do you think that that's something that we can talk about and we can implement back into our marriage. Okay, I hope this is helping you guys. Okay, number 3, you're going to state the emotional impact that it's having on you. So again, I kind of alluded to that already. You're going to say, I feel, this is how this makes me feel. I feel hurt. I feel rejected. I feel unwanted. I feel unloved. And you know, a lot of times individuals can't say these things because you don't want to be emotionally vulnerable. But it's in this exact moment that you need to be emotionally vulnerable with your husband or with your wife. If you're a guy on here watching, it is in this moment you need to be emotionally vulnerable because they need to know what's going on with you. And if you still have a problem being emotionally vulnerable with your spouse, then that in itself is another issue that we need to deal with, because you feel like, I don't know if you feel like they will look down on you, or they won't see you as this confident person that you protrude, or whatever the case may be. But none of that should be true, because we should be able to tear down those walls, tear down those barriers, and be open in truth. I'm a very strong woman, but I can cry. That's not my issue. But my issue is sometimes letting go of my pride. You know, crying when I feel rejected or when I'm in a distraught state is different than showing emotions when I'm trying to be tough. And I've had to do that. I've just had to let it all go. And I've had to tell my husband, like, I don't want to be strong all the time. I don't want to be tough all the time. I don't want to be superwoman all the time. I don't want you to look at me as this super strong, super confident, woman all the time. I need you to look at me sometimes and know that I need you. I need your comfort. I need your support. I need your time. Right? And I had to share this with him. So these are things I need to share. Number 4, state a clear request. What are you asking them to do? What are you asking them to change? What do you need? I desire for us to have sex more. I desire for us to go on date nights every week or every other week. You know, is that your desire? Is that something that we can come into agreement with? What do you want from them? You have to be clear. You can't just go off on a tangent. You can't just be emotionally unstable in that moment, but you have to be very clear of what you want or what you need, I guess I should say. Number 5, if your spouse gets defensive or is reluctant to change, ask them to explain how they see things, because this could be a moment where it goes left or it goes in the right direction. But if you see them saying, well, no, that's not the case, and it is that, and it's your fault, or whatever the case can be, try not to get on that emotional train with them, but instead ask them how they see things. Well, can you explain to me how you see things? Because maybe we're looking from a different lens. Maybe I'm looking out of this lens. And in fact, Dr. Emerson says that men look out of the blue eye lenses and women look out of pink. Like, we see things differently. We see things differently, and that's understandable. So you're going to ask him or her, well, how do you see things? Can you explain to me what changes you've witnessed? Or is this just me? Is this something that I need to pray about? Is this something that I need to deal with on my own? Is this something that I need to be healed from? Is this something I'm making up in my head, right? Number 6 is you're going to discuss the steps. Discuss specific steps you both can take to improve the situation. So what specific steps do you need to take in order to improve whatever is wrong, whatever is causing the feelings of constant rejection, whatever is triggering the feelings of rejection? And part of those steps, you guys and gals, can be you going to God and saying, okay, God, I need you to heal me. I need to understand that it is not the intention of my husband or intention of my wife to make me feel rejected, but I know that I'm still experiencing this because I'm not over being rejected by my parent or by my ex or whatever or whoever. So part of that can be the step, you doing that internal work. And one part of your internal work is praying and also journaling, learning to journal. So on that day when you feel rejected by your husband or by your wife, you're going to get your journal out and you're going to write down what caused you to feel that way. Why did you feel that way? What caused you to feel that way? And hopefully you can then also connect that to something else. Oh, you know what? I remember this feeling. Now I know why. I'm still holding on to that. I still have that ball or that knot in my abdomen against whoever. And that, those things will come to mind, and ask God to, Lord, bring into my remembrance who or what happened in my life that still has me struggling in this area, and how can I overcome this? And then number 7, you're going to request a periodic check-in. So check-ins, oh my God, I love check-ins. So checking in, honey, let's check in every 60 days. Let's check in every 90 days. And your mind will tell you when to check in. Your emotions definitely will tell you how to check in, right? Your feelings are going to tell you, you need to check in. Some things are going on. Even with my husband, there are higher levels of work that, causes him to travel more, to be away more than other times. In those times, I'm checking in more, right? In those times when we miss 2 or 3 date nights, okay, what's going on? Let's check in, right? In those times, even if he's away and we're texting more than we're talking, it's time to check in. And even when things are just happy-dory, still checking in. But you have to identify what that procedure would look like and what that time frame would look like. What does that look like for you in your marriage? Okay. So I'm just going to run through these really quickly, and then I'll take some questions. So confronting rejection is, you're going to tell your spouse, let them know that you have something to share with them, and set aside a time to talk. Number 2, you're going to be present and giving them your undivided, giving them and them giving you their undivided attention. Number 3, you're going to state the facts only, your emotional reactions. How is this making you feel? I feel hurt. I feel abandoned. I feel unloved. I feel unwanted. I feel neglected, whatever it is. Number 4, you're going to state clear what you need to change. State what do you need? What do you desire to change? Number 5, if your partner is against it or reluctant, ask them to explain how they're seeing things. Number 6, discuss specific steps on how you both can improve the situation. How can we both improve? And again, part of that could be self-improvement. As a matter of fact, I would dare to say part of that is self-improvement, because the happier and healthier you are as an individual, the happier and healthier your marriage is. And then number 7, you're going to request check-ins. So we're going to check in every now and again just to see how we're doing, just to gauge the temperature of the marriage, just to gauge the temperature of our date nights, of our sex life, of our intimacy, of our communication. We're gauging and we're making sure everything's okay. And I've even asked my husband, honey, are we okay? Is our marriage okay? Is there anything you need from me? Is there anything you want from me? Is there anything else I can do differently to make you, be more present in this marriage, or to create happiness? No, I'm not the creator of his initial existing happiness, but there are some things I can do to bring happiness per se to the marriage. So yes, I do ask those questions. Okay. So yes, we'll continue to have this conversation. Tomorrow I may not be on because I'm trying out a new exercise class and the sun is going down. I was trying to use natural light, you guys. I'm trying out a new exercise class tomorrow. So I'm not going to promise I'm going to be on tomorrow, but we will be here on Saturday. We'll be here on Saturday. I'm shooting for noon. I do have a conference that I'm attending, and I need to check the time for that. But are you guys enjoying this conversation about rejection and anger, and able to see how the two go hand in hand? And how anger is a secondary emotion to the primary emotion or source of the pain or the hurt that you're experiencing? If nothing else, I would definitely want you guys to get that out of it. If nothing else. Yes, that is gone. Hey, Victoria, we're getting off. Hey, Toya. You guys make sure you check out the replay. Just getting some questions from individuals if they have any. If not, I'm going to head on out. I have another training at 8 tonight. And I want to just rest and do what I want to do from this point forward. From now until that time, start getting ready about 7:30. So if there are no questions, you guys meet me back here at Saturday at 12 noon or noon. Um, Definitely, I've been enjoying this conversation. I hope you have too. I hope this has been blessing you. I hope eventually, of course, it will bless your marriage. If you do the work. If you guys have not, I do want to share this. If you have not gotten the book yet, make sure you go on Amazon.com to get the book. In It to Win It, a 31-day guide or devotional to help you improve communication and maximize intimacy. This will get the conversation going. This will definitely get the conversation going, you guys. So if you don't have it, I encourage you to go pick it up. I believe it's 15 bucks on Amazon for the actual book and $5 for the Kindle version. So pick it up and you will be blessed. I assure you of that. All right, you guys. So until Saturday, you be blessed. Talk to you soon. Bye.